My name is Maithili Rani Devidasi, and
No, all
today,
these things are not required. You can, everyone knows about everyone, so you can
okay,
directly start the presentation.
okay, I was coming to that. My presentation today is contradictory activities of Sri Krishna. So to begin with, if one sees the dictionary meaning of the word contradictory, it says it's being opposite to or not matching with something else. Like today, these days, we see since the election times are going on, we see every day the the ministers changing their statements or changing their parties immediately and contradicting their own statements and principles. But when it comes to Sri Krishna, these contradictions are not driven by material modes. So they are all driven by his own Svarupa Shakti. So these contradictory activities in the third canto, chapter third and fourth, when Uddhava is reminiscing about Krishna after his departure, he's bewildered by the contradictory activities or his achintya Shakti of Lord Krishna. Prabhuji, next slide, please. So, so Uddhava is saying in 3.4.16, कर्मण्य कर्म कर्माण्यनीहस्य भवो भवस्य ते दुर्गाश्रयोथारि भयात् पलायनम् कालात्मनो यत् प्रमदायुताश्रमः स्वात्मन्रते खिद्यति धीर्विदाम् इह. So Uddhava is saying to Vidura that the learned sages, they are bewildered by Krishna's greatness. And Uddhava is saying that Krishna is free from all desires, but yet his birth, his activities, and his certain activities like running away out of fear from his enemies and in control, being the control of time, yet and being self-satisfied or in as an Atmaram, and still enjoying householder activities. So these activities are bewildering Uddhava. And Prabhuji, next slide. So Uddhava is saying, and let us see what the Shrutis are saying. One by one, we will see Uddhava's bewilderment and his reasons about why he's feeling that Krishna's activities are contradictory. So, Shrutis tell that Krishna is someone who does not perform any action. So, he is a non-doer. Uh, Despite doing the creation, maintenance, and destruction, he still is titled to be a non-doer or somebody who is without action. So three understanding can be taken out of this Shruti statement. That first is that the Brahman aspect of Krishna, which is formless and which is without action. So that explains that, okay, Krishna does not perform any activity. But to go a bit further, there are two other ways in which Krishna performs activities in the in the creation, maintenance, and annihilation processes. This action of Krishna is not is driven by his Maya Shakti or the material modes, and this is not out of his own personal desire to perform this process of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, but in order to facilitate the desires of the conditioned souls who want to enjoy independently of him. And the third aspect of Krishna is the actions which he performs uh, because of his own personal desires, which is to please his devotees. And this action, the ones which he is doing out of his personal desire, these are not material desires, but they are spiritual desires, which are a manifestation of his Svarupa Shakti, or which are in the platform of Shuddha Sattva. And because of this, even though he's performing the actions of reciprocating with his devotees from Dwarka, Vrindavan, Mathura, etc., these actions do not have any reactions. Like in material world, every action that we do, we face a reaction out of it. But Krishna's action, which is done out of his own personal desire, does not have any reaction. Therefore, this action is also considered as a non-action, or Krishna is considered to be the non-doer of these actions. Prabhuji, next slide. So Krishna's non-action can be seen in Krishna's own words. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha itimam yobi janati karma bhirna sabadhyate. Krishna is saying that activities, in here he is talking about the activities which he is doing for the as a creator, maintainer and the annihilator. The activities, they do not taint him. Even in the 9th chapter, 9.456, those three verses, they explain that although he performs, he pervades everywhere, and everything rests in him, yet he is aloof from all the material aspects. So he performs everything, he is present everywhere, and yet he is aloof. So this action again becomes a non-action, and this actions, and the next verse which we read here is paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This action which he does is driven by his personal desire to reciprocate with his devotees. Haribol, Prabhuji. Okay. So, so to consider, to uh, to remind ourselves of some of the pastimes of Krishna as being contradictory is the Upanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad says that Krishna is without parts, without action, without blemish or fault. But in his Varupa form, he performs tasks such as lifting the Govardhan hill. And this quality of Krishna is considered as a non-action, because even though he is coming in the material world and he is uh, performing the such Herculean tasks which is impossible for an ordinary jivatma to do, and yet he remains aloof from it, he remains uncontaminated from it, and therefore these pastimes which he does, like lifting of the Govardhana hill, displays Krishna's quality of being the doer, at the same time the non-doer of these activities. Probably the next slide. So another pastime which we see, which is very intriguing, and which displays Krishna's achintya shakti to the maximum, is that Krishna is seeing Yashoda Mai is seeing Krishna in the limited form of a child. At the same time, simultaneously, he is displaying his unlimited feature by every time when Mother Yashoda is trying to bind him around the ukhal, she is falling 2 fingers too short to bind Krishna. So at the same time, he's showing his limited as well as the unlimited feature. And this action, this leela of Krishna is considered to be totally bewildering for the sages. And same thing we see even in the Mother Kunti's prayers, when when Ashwathama hurls the Brahmastra at Uttara in front of everyone, and Mother Kunti says that she can see Krishna in front of her, and at the same time she can see Krishna taking the form of a small angushta matram in the form of a thumb and entering into the womb of mother of Uttara to protect the child Parikshit. And this again is a very inconceivable potency of Krishna in full display during Kunti Maharani's prayers. Again, coming back to Damodar Leela, Krishna, uh, the sages are wondering that how can Krishna, who is feared by fear personified himself, is running away from Mother Yashoda out of so much of fear. So one can wonder, probably it is a theatrical performance of Krishna, but actually he is not feared at all. But the acharyas say no. This again is the display of Krishna's achintya potency, that despite being the knower of all the Vedas, and despite being feared by the fear personified himself, he is still getting afraid of Mother Yashoda's. This is again a contradictory, or I would rather say Atintya Shakti in full display by Lord Krishna. Priji, next slide. So we see in the last chapter, last canto, I think. Yeah, when Krishna enters the Dwarka while coming back from Hastinapur, the Dwarkavasis, they are actually seeing um, Lord, all these things, like they saw Lord's bodily hue, which is the Sham Varna. It appears to be as a monsoon cloud. And the white umbrella, which is there in the picture, it appears to be as the sun, the effulgent sun. And his locks of hair, it appears to be as the moon, it's said. And the flowers which are showering upon him, they appear to be like stars. And the yellow garment is appearing to be like rainbow. And this was actually witnessed by the Dwarkavasis. And Prabhupada says that this is practically impossible in material world to see all this phenomenon, natural phenomenon like rainbow, sun, moon, stars, or monsoon cloud, everything appearing together is an impossible thing to witness. But the Dwarkavasis, when Krishna entered Dwarka, they saw the entire display of Krishna's inconceivable potency by seeing all these natural phenomenon which occur in different seasons coming, together at the same time. And this is again a very inconceivable feature of the Lord, which is difficult to comprehend by the normal human brain which hankers for logic and reasoning. Next slide, Prabhuji. Then we come to about the birth of Krishna. Krishna again says himself, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So when Jivatmas, like people like us who take birth, we take birth because of our past actions, and we get a particular body, any body, a human being or an animal or an aquatic or something else. But when Krishna takes birth, it is not because of his past action. He chooses to take birth, in the sense he chooses his parents, he chooses his friends, he chooses his wives, so on and so forth. So and if like we see, a child which is born with a full set of teeth, a child born with all ornaments, and a child which is talking as soon as it is birth and giving instructions to his parents, is again the yoga inconceivable, or the yoga maya potency of Krishna. And Prabhuji, next slide. Then we come to see self-satisfied. Yeah, so before that, I'm sorry, the again, Uddhav says that how come Krishna, who is feared by fear personified, is running away from enemies like Jarasandha and Kalyavan, and this is basically just to glorify his devotees, uh, like Bhima and Muchukunda, who through whom he slays the very same devotees. So uh, this is very bewildering to Uddhava, saying that how can he run away like this? So again, coming back to the Atmaram feature of the Lord, Uddhava is thinking that how come the person who is satisfied completely with himself be seen enjoying with all his queens in Dwarka. So the acharyas are saying that these queens are actually his own expansions. So in a way, he is happy with himself because these are all his own expansions. And this is a very contradictory and inconceivable feature of the Lord. He performs, karmakand rituals like Pitrutarpanam and satisfying the devatas by performing so many other homams and all that. And here we see that although he is enjoying with his queens, we see that in Mahabharat, coming to the same pastime, coming back to the same pastime of Uttara running away from Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Krishna makes a statement which is written in Mahabharata. He is saying that if I have been an Akhanda Brahmachari throughout my life, then let this let this child of Uttara be saved from the Brahmastra of Ashwathama. And there are 3-4 types of brahmacharya. I think Prabhuji can tell better. I think it's Savitri brahmachari, there is Prajapati, and there is one more, and there is one Naishtika brahmachari. So when Krishna says that he is Akhanda brahmachari, he is including all these 4 types of brahmachari, that he has been all these 4, including the Naishtika brahmachari. Somebody who is claiming to be Naishtika brahmachari, the person who is having 16,108 wives. And in Gopal Tapani Upanishad, when in Vrindavan, there is this pastime when Durvasa Muni has come to Vrindavan, and all the gopis, they want to please him. So they want to cross Yamuna and go to offer prasadam to Durvasa Muni. So that time there is Yamuna is in a high tide, and they want to cross, and they are asking Krishna, we want to go and serve Durvasa Muni, how to go? So Yamuna is in full rage today. So Krishna is saying, tell Yamuna, Krishna is a brahmachari, so please make way. And the gopis are thinking, this person who is always roaming around with gopis all the time, performing Ras Leela, how can this person be called as a brahmachari? But they still follow the orders, and Yamuna immediately makes way for Krishna, for the gopis to cross over. So this shows the inconceivable potency of Krishna as Atmaram, and to confirm the statements of the Upanishads, of Bhagavatam and other Puranas and the Vedas. Bhishma himself says, नहीं अस्य करहिचित् राजन् पुमान् वेद विदिसितं यद् विजिज्ञासया युक्त मुह्यन्ति कवयोपिः. Bhishma says, O king, no one can know the plan of Lord Krishna, even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively. Everyone is trying to find out what is this, and yet they are completely bewildered about these pastimes, or these features, the inconceivable features, which is called as the Achintya Shakti of the Lord. Prabhuji, can you please go ahead with the slide? Yeah, next slide. This I already said. Bhishma is so.
Now it's all at 20 minutes. You can summarize.
I will wind
slowly.
up. I will wind up,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. So yeah, Prabhuji, you can go to the next slide. I will skip this. Because Uddhava is telling Krishna that even though Krishna is all knowing, he comes as a foolish person, is coming and asking Uddhava for his advice. So this is very bewildering to Uddhava, saying that somebody who knows everything, Sadatma Bodha, who is unaffected by time, the person who went to Yamaraj to get the soul of his Guru Mother's son, and how can this person behave like a fool? But actually Krishna honestly asked him for these advices, and he followed these advices to the core, which Uddhava rendered at that time. Prabhuji, can you please go ahead with the slide? So Krishna also says, like I have I mentioned before about 9.4, these uh, this, these verses actually speak about the inconceivable or the Achintya Shakti of the Lord. And Prabhuji, you can go ahead. I'll not spend much time in this time. So the Bhagavad Amrit, Lagu Bhagavad Amrit says, and Krishna says in this, if contradictions in Krishna's pastimes were not true, then the sages would not have been bewildered. The inconceivable potency or the Achintya Shakti is the true cause of Krishna's pastimes, and they appear whenever he desires, and they act as per his desire. And who can understand these Achintya Shakti also is designed or desired by the Lord. And in Brahma says, in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That even this form of Sham Sundar, which we think that he is a bluish tinged, it's an Achintya Shakti, or is the Achintya Gunasvarupam of the Lord, because elsewhere people say he's Hiranmayena Patrena, he's golden. Sometimes he appears as Hiranmayena Patrena is effulgence of the Lord, but like Mahaprabhu, he comes as a golden form. Like Ram, he comes in a green hue. So these the, if we think that he's a Sham Varna, again it is again his inconceivable potency, because he can come in whichever form, whichever color that he desires to come. So in short, the entire everything about Krishna is inconceivable, thing which a normal human being could comprehend or try to understand. Then there would not be any difference between human being and God, because God will be comprehensible, or one could comprehend. Then there is no difference between man and God. Because of the Achintya Shakti, man and God are two different entities, and they can never be compared to each other. With this, I will stop my presentation. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for the nice presentation.
Thank
So,
you.
devotees would like to ask any questions?
I'm sorry, I got nervous in beginning.
No, it's okay. That's fine. Yeah, devotees. Anyone can ask any questions, at least one or two.
Mataji, Satyabhama Mataji here.
Yes, yes.
You said that Govardhan Leela is contradictory. Lord did that activity at the same time he didn't. So if you can elaborate a bit more on that.
Lord, the Upanishad is saying that he is one without any fault or any fall, is Achyuta. But in Govardhan Leela, and he doesn't, he performs activities like Govardhan Leela, where he's lifting the hill for so many days. But at the same time, can you imagine somebody not getting tired, not getting affected, by any of these material things which are happening during Govardhan Leela. Like pouring of the Samvartaka cloud, and the whole thing about the Govardhan Leela, if you remember the pastime, it is not something an ordinary person can even imagine. So it becomes an inconceivable potency that despite all these material modes affecting him, and he is coming as a normal human child, but he is not affected by any of these things. He is aloof, yet he's a part of it, yet he's aloof, and he is not affected by any things when others are all worried about their cows, and the village and the whole Braj is inundated with water. There is this person who is very relaxed and not affected at all, and there is no tinge of any worry or anything on him. That is itself is very, you can, if you think about it, is very inconceivable, and his achintya shakti playing the part is my humble opinion. Prabhuji can elaborate.
Any other devotees? Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for selecting a nice topic, and it is also one of the nice topics to start with. Wonderful and kind of contradictory pastimes of Lord Krishna. You very well went through all the pastimes of different pastimes of Lord Krishna, very nicely chosen, different examples. In Mahabharata, there is one example comes. Achintya kaluye bhava natam starkena yojayet. Prakritibhya param yascha tad achintasya lakshanam.
Okay.
So the meaning of achintya means achinta kaluye bhava natam starkena yojayet. The meaning of achintya we cannot understand through our tarka, logic and nyaya, our logic and reasoning. If we understand something based on our logic and reasoning, it cannot be achintya. When something is beyond our understanding, then it is called achintya. So then the next line says, Prakritibhya param yascha tad achintyasya lakshanam. The principal quality of achintya means it should be beyond prakriti. That means it is beyond three modes of influence, three modes of material nature. Whatever we do, whatever we know in this material world, it is all under three modes. When something is beyond three modes, that is called achintya. Lord's birth and activities apparently appears to be like our ordinary activities, but none of them are ordinary. His birth itself is very secret. We don't know how he born also. And his performance of activities such as Govardhan Leela, lifting Govardhan Hill. We can't lift for 7 days, and we can't lift so huge mountain. And Damodar Leela, he did not change his size, but the rope is increasing so much. It is not able to tie him. And it is said he's Atmarama, but he's marrying so many ladies. So like that, some of the things are beyond our understanding.
Logic and
That's why it is called achintya. So thank you very much for taking up this topic and presenting very nicely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll go ahead with the second presentation. So
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji.
I want to comment on Mataji's this very nice
Yeah,
presentation.
quickly. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, it was the first presentation for third canto. So anybody like can be nervous, but Mataji did it very nicely. We can understand it properly. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Danda Pranam. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu,
Hare
please
Krishna.
continue. Continue, please. No formalities. Please continue.
First slide, Prabhuji. First slide. Okay, let's. I will. First slide, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, first slide. Yeah. So I would like to welcoming all of you for the presentation of Sarga. That is in this slide. It is in purport Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, 11, chapter 11, 42, slogan number 42. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Supreme Personality of Godhead is all cause of all causes. It means Srila Prabhupada mentioned about Brahma Samhita 5.1. Lord Brahma said that Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Means Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is the cause of all causes. Next slide, Prabhuji. In this slide, it explained about various expansions of Lord Sri Krishna. That is first quadruple expansion and second quadruple expansion. From the second quadruple expansion, that is Lord Sankarsana expands into Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. Again, Mahavishnu, Karanodakasai Vishnu expands into Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Then Garbhodakasai Vishnu again expand to Kshirodakasai Vishnu, that is Paramatma. Next, Prabhuji. Here we can see that different Purusha avatar of Lord Sri Krishna, that is Mahavishnu, Karanodakasai Vishnu lying in casual oceans, and Garbhodakasai Vishnu who is lying in Garbhosagar, and Kshirodakasai Vishnu. In Lord, as you hear from the previous presentation, that Lord is Atmaram, he is Bhaktaram. Then why he formed this material world was created? Material world is created when the living entity wants to separate from the Lord to enjoy independently. So Lord facilitated this for the Jiva, not for his enjoyment. For the Jiva wants, that's why Lord facilitated this material world. Next slide, please. Here, Karanodakasai Vishnu, laying in casual ocean, he glance, by his glance, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd Canto, 5 chapter 26 purport. He impregnates the Pradhana. Initially, what all the jivas in the form of Swabhava and Karma lying in the body of Karanodakasai Vishnu, then this Swabhava and Karma, when along with the Kala, Karanodakasai Vishnu impregnates into the Pradhana. Initially, the Pradhana, all the elements are present in Pradhan, and it is in active mode. That is unmanifest form. For example, we can take an example that in a mobile, there are different apps are there. For example, for YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, all these things. There is unlimited messages also there. Unless until we touch that app, all these are in unmanifest form. When we touch that app, then when we open the WhatsApp or open the Instagram, the number of messages, number of all these things is visible, comes out in manifest form. So initially this Pradhan is, all the elements are there inside the Pradhan, and it is in mode of inactive mode. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd 5, chapter 5, and in Sloka 27, it is mentioned that this Pradhana transform into Mahatattva by glance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in Mahatattva, all these elements are in active mode. In Bhagavad Gita 14.4, Lord Krishna says, Aham Bija Pada Pita. Means he is the Supreme Father of all living entities. Next slide, Guruji. This is already explained that how Swabhava and Karma along with Karma, Swabhava and Karma along with Kala impregnates by Karanadoksai Vishnu into Pradhana. Here this Pradhan transforms to Mahatattva. Again, this Mahatattva, where the modes are active, Mahatattva transform into Ahankara. And this is according to Srimad Bhagavatam 3.5.28. Next, Prabhuji. This nature of Ahankara, that is false ego, is claimed to be enjoyer of material nature, makes living entities rebellious due to false lordship, no acceptance of subordination of the Supreme Lord. So this nature, but this false ego's nature is the binding force of material existence. What is the effect of the false ego? It is godlessness, forgets constitutional position, that is Jivara Swarupa Hai Krishna Das, wants to be independent of Lord, personal gain of sense gratification, mental speculation, and wants to be same level of God. Next slide, bro. Then this false ego, here previously as known from Mahatattva is transforms to false ego. Then this false ego transforms into mind and sense devatas due to interaction of with mode of goodness. This false ego transforms into different senses, that is knowledge acquiring senses, ear, skin, eye, tongue, nose, and working senses, hand, legs, genitals, voice, rectum, and intelligence due to its interaction with mode of passion. And it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.5.31. Again, this false ego, ahankara, transforms into gross elements and sense objects with the by interaction with the mode of ignorance. Here we can see that from sound, ether, touch, air, form, fire, taste, water, smell, earth. Here we can see that this material creation takes place from subtle to gross element. Like if you go reverse order, that is earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether is the subtle. Then from ether, air, fire to water to earth. So in the left side, there is a figure shown that in the material world, these elements are the outer covering of this material world. That is, each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous layer. First layer is earth, then water. Next layer is water. Water layer is 10 times more than the earth layer. Then fire, then air, last is ether. Next slide, Rosie. Then after creation of these elements, then here it is explained about shown different senses and sense devatas. That is, for ear, it is sense devata is Dig Devata. For eye, it is Surya. Skin, Vayu. Nose, Ashwini Kumars. Tongue, Varuna. For hand, Indra. For feet, Upendra. For voice, Agni. For anus, Maitreya. Genitals, Prajapati is the sense devata. Next slide, please. Prayers of sense demigods. It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, 39 sloka to 40 sloka. Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Lord Krishna says that Tesam satatam yuktanam bhajatam priti pruvakah dadami buddhi yogatam yena mam upantyate. So, in this slide, after getting this seva, Devatas ask for strength to perform seva for the satisfaction of the Lord. Next is beg for direction, mercy, empowerment, potency of knowledge to perform that seva. So here, what is the lesson for us? Lesson is prayer is very important. Prayer is the principle. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in the inauguration of Journey Home, one devotee, asked Maharaj, you are a good author. Maharaj says that, no, I am not a good author. I am a prayer. So prayer is very important. Also, Srila Prabhupada also taught, we read from the meaning of Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada gave us that Hare Krishna, jo Mahamantra hai, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. What is the meaning? Here Prabhupada explained that "Oh Lord, oh Mother Hara, oh Lord Krishna, please engage me in your devotional service." So it is a prayer we are asking initially. So we are requesting Lord Mother Hara for seva. If we get, then by the mercy of Mother Hara, Radharani, Srimati Radharani, and Krishna and Guru, we get seva. To perform that seva, it requires strength. So again, we have to pray, Lord, for the ability to serve. When we perform that seva, after getting the ability to serve, then what happens? The result will come. What is the result? Name, fame, puja, labha, pratishtha, all these things. Again, we have to pray to Lord Guru that to tolerate this, the result will come, and we have to tolerate. So again, we have to pray. So prayer is the principle. Every stage we have to pray. Goal, what is your goal? Goal is samsiddhi haritoshanam. Goal is to satisfy Supreme Personality of God. So purpose of material world is, go to the next slide. The purpose of material world is to reform, not to enjoyment. Here we say that the Virata Purusha, total energy of Mahatattva in the form of a gigantic Virat Rupa, divided himself into 1, 10, and 3. 1 is soul, 10 is life here, Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, Vyana, Naga, Krikara, Dhananjaya, Devadatta, Kurma. 3, Adhyatmika, self-identification with the body and mind. Adhibhautika, self-identification with the material products. Adhidaivika, self-identification as a servant of the Lord. Next slide, bro. So in Virata Purusha, in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Lord says that Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto mata smriti jnana pohnancha vedesya sarve aharim vedo vedanta krit vedvid evacha. That everything manifest from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here, 3 things are mentioned: Adibhuta, Adhyatma, and Adidaivika. Adibhuta is what? Is the hardware, that is gross element. We can in the Virata Purusha, initially these different senses created. Gross element, ear. For example, we can take example of ear. Then Adhyatma is the software, that is who carry the information from this ear to the ear, external senses to internal, that is by hearing, by sound vibration. It is carry informations. Adidaiva is a demigod, that for each senses there is demigod controlling senses. That here is Dig Devata. For ear, it is Dig Devata is the control demigod, or the sense Devata. Next, Ruji. Next, Lord Brahma's manifestation. Subtle form of creation passed through his abdomen, that is lotus flower. From that flower, Lord Brahma was generated. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.11.33 in the purport, Srila Prabhupada told that among the jivas, Brahma's lifespan is very long. Brahma is also afraid of his death. Thus, he performs devotional service to Lord just to realize himself from the clutches of illusory energies. Next slide, Prabhu. This is a summary of my presentation. From the presentation, there is 6 types of primary creation. Sarga we discussed. First is Mahatattva, that is sum total of material ingredients. Ahankara, second is Ahankara, that is false ego. Third is Tanmatra, that is sense objects. Fourth is Indriya, senses. Fifth is demigod and mind, the controlling senses. 6 is Avidya Shakti, that is ignorance. These all 6 types of comes under primary creation, but Sarga, that is created by Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Devotees, any questions? Please ask, don't be silent. Prabhuji, can you distinguish what do you mean by Karya Srishti and Karana Srishti?
Karya Srishti, Prabhuji, is the effect. And Karana
Means
Srishti
what?
means of 5 tanmatras and 5 elements. That is sense. And Karana Srishti is the cause. What is the
No, that is not. Even in second canto also it was discussed. Even third canto we discussed about it elaborately. If you refer to our slides, it will be there. Because you have not spoken about it clearly, that's why I'm asking this question in your presentation. So what do you mean by Karana generally? And Karya? Little meaning of Sanskrit word. Karana
means
and Karya.
Karana means cause, no, Prabhuji?
Okay, then Karya means?
Karya means
Action.
what? So the output, Karya, effect.
No. Action. Mataji was saying that Karya means to do something. So now, from the part of creation, what is Karana and what is Karya? And what part of creation is called Karana Srishti and what part of creation is called Karya Srishti?
Garbhodak Vishnu's work is in Karya.
No. It is not your exam. Prabhuji has to speak.
Yes, Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the cause. That was Karan, is the Karan.
Then what about Mahavishnu? Who is he?
Mahavishnu, yes, Garbhodaksha Vishnu comes from Mahavishnu, yes. He expands
See,
Karanodakasha Vishnu.
wait. Karya and Karana are nothing to do with any form of Vishnu. Okay? Lord Vishnu glances upon Prakriti and Prakriti performs all the activities. So among all the activities, see, you have shown that okay, these are avatars. Here the glance is there, Pradhana, Mahatattva, and then Ahankara, and so many things I have explained. So after this, there is some important aspects which you have not explained. The creation of these 24 elements is called Karana Srishti. Karana means Upadan. All the various elements. Manifestation of the various elements is called Karana Srishti. And then you spoke about the elements are offering prayers. Okay, they offered prayers. Then what did the Lord do after hearing the prayers? He did something. And what he did and why he did. Yes, prove. Quick. The Lord combined all the elements. From that combination, there appeared all the universes consisting of 7 universal layers. Every universe is nothing but an empty golden shell covered by 7 universal layers. And the layers consist of 24 elements. So this manifestation, and then Karnodakshaya Vishnu expands as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into each and every universe, and within each and every universe, he manifests the universal form. So, combining 24 elements, from that creating unlimited universes, entering into each universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the universal form manifested, and even all the way up to the appearance of the lotus and then Lord Brahma, this entire thing is called Karya Srishti. Till it has been handed over to Brahma from the point of the prayers offered by the elemental devatas. This is all called Karya Srishti. And before that, from the point of Mahavishnu glancing upon Prakriti to the elements offering prayers, that is called Karana Srishti. So it's like that. But anyway, you have spoke about Sarga and all, but one aspect of Sarga also we discussed from the very beginning of the third canto. One full day we discussed about it. For everything, there are two aspects. There is a process, there is a purpose. You have not even mentioned even single word about the purpose of creation. So without that, this presentation will not be complete. So, but anyway, better luck next time. Thank you very much. This topic itself is very huge, and you try to present everything in 20 minutes. Thank you very much for the good effort. So, and thank you for the nice presentation. Hare Krishna. So, the next presentation.
Prabhu, this is Sankarshan Krishna Das. I will share my screen. Is it okay? Right?
Please do that only. You will save my.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, is it visible, bro? Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. This is Sankarshan Krishna Das. I would like to present the Visarga. So as we see
make it into slide mode. Presentation, presenter view.
It is slide mode, bro. No.
No.
Because in my screen it is showing slide mode. Just wait, bro.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Otherwise, it is not in slide mode.
Otherwise, can you share, bro? Is it nice, bro? Then.
Okay, go ahead.
Screen is not visible, bro. You have said, na?
Now?
Yes, bro. Okay. Hare Krishna. So I would like to present the Visarga part. So this is basically, as we have already presented by Abhay Keshav Prabhu, this is the Sarga, and I am going to present the Visarga. As we know that Lord Brahma, after is emanating from the navel of the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, so the Lord Brahma prayed to the Lord Vishnu so that he will create the subsequent creation, that is the Visarga, or it is called Vaikruta. So Lord prayed in the form of tapasya, and then he is empowered by the Lord, and he created the subsequent creation. So here it is in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.3, it is said, Bhuta Matendriya Dhiyam Janma Sarga Udahutaha Brahmana Guna Vaishamyat Visarga Paurusha Smrutaha. So here it is said that Bhuta Matendriya. So Bhuta means that is the 5 elements like earth, water, fire, and ether. And Matendriya means that is Tanmatra, Saptarasa, Rupa, Gandha. And Dhiya means like 5 acquiring Karmendriya and 5 knowledge acquiring sense. So these are called the Sarga creation. And it is already created from the Pradhana, Mahatattva, and from Mahatattva, false ego is created. And from the false ego, then all this Bhuta, Matendriya, and Dhriyam is created. And the Brahmano Guna Vaishyamya means after the subsequent interaction of the three modes of material nature, that is guna vaishyamya, that visarga purusha spruta, that the Lord Brahma is able to create the visarga, that is the subsequent creation of the three modes of material nature. So Prabhuji, next slide. So there are actually total 10 creation, and the 6 creation is already in the part of the sarga creation, and the fourth part, actually there are 4 creation is related to visarga creation. So it is called 7th creation. The 7th creation is called the immovable entities, or it is also called the mukhya sarga. Mukhya sarga in the sense it is the important creation of all living entities. So that's why it is called the mukhya sarga, or it is important sarga, or another way you can call it also fast sarga, because it is fast created by the Lord Brahma. So there are basically 8. This is the plant. It is the creation of the immovable plants. So there are 8 varieties of immovable plants. So one is called banaspati. So banaspati is like the refer to those plants which don't have flowers but have fruits. So that is called the banaspati. They don't have any flowers but have some fruits. Also there means it is referred to the medicinal plants, and it is perishes after 1 year. So this is called the aushadhya. So it is basically related to like any Ayurvedic medicine, you can take it. So after 1 year it will perishes. So it is basically annual plant. So it is called the aushadhya. Then there is called lata. This is basically refers to plant that need support to rise. Like you can see in our surrounding, there are so many plants so we don't stand is independently. So it requires some of the help of the other plants. We can say it is like a spreading over all other plants basically. So it is called the lata. Then the fourth one is the takshara pipe plants. It is basically referring to the bamboo or some hollow plants like bamboos. And biruddha, which do not depend on the support to rise because of stiffness of the trunk. Like any bushes plant, we can take the example of the biruddha. Then drumaha, these are the those which give fruits through flowers, like uh, let's say it is mango. First, before some season, it is actually coming as a fruit. Then it will actually turn into the flowers. From the fruit, it turn into the fruits. So these are called the different immovable plant categories. And its characteristics are like their nourishment is upward from the root to basically bottom. They are taking as a food, and their conscious is not evident. That means their conscious is almost not. They may feel pain within by cutting by other person, but their conscious is almost none. But they have consciousness, and the dimensions are not fixed, but they are not in uniform structure. They have some different dimension structure, and they are unlimited varieties. Prabhuji, next slides. So these are the different images like fruits plant without flowers. So these are the different images. So I've already explained. Prabhuji, can you go to the next slides? So then 7th creation is the immovable plant, and the 8th creation is the lower species of life. So this is basically related to the animal, lower species of life. So if we see the consider, because the in previous sarga part, actually it is created by the Mahavishnu as a all the like Mahatota Pradhana, then all these elements. So basically, if you just study, then it is actually created as a three parts. So basically, first is Lord Brahma take all together and create all together and come all together, and he's just created by the resultant of the actually 3 modes of material nature. So this creation, what I am just presenting, that is immovable plants. This is nothing but the avidya potency of the Lord. So this is basically avidya potency. That means it is due to some ignorance. So not the all good population that's created. So this is so in subsequent slide I will actually explain about that. What is the vidya potency creation? So this is basically avidya potency creation. So the 8th creation is the lower species of life. So basically their nourishment is basically horizontally from front to basically back, and there are 28 varieties, and they don't have no concept of future. So they basically concentrate on the present only. They don't have any future aspect of life, and they only mainly concentrate about their food, how can they survive, understand their need by smell. So they basically understand everything, subject everything by smell only. they don't have any deliberation intelligence, so that they have discriminated everything. So they have devoid of lengthy description. So these are the so there are actually 28 varieties. So there are some animals like there are cloven hoofs. So like cows, goats, buffalo, black deer, pigs, wild oxen, antelope, sheep, camels have cloven hoofs. That means they have 2 hoofs. So these are the 9 in number, and the 1 hoof animals are horse, mule, ass, gaur, sarabha, yaksha, yaks have only 1 hoof. They are in 5 in number, and there are also 11 number. Those animals have 5 nails, like dogs, jackals, tiger, fox, cat, rabbit, sajaru, lion, monkey, elephant, tortoise, alligator, and gospa. And there are so out of these 11 numbers, like tortoise, lizard are in the reptile category, and snakes also in reptile categories. So they have 5 nails. And there are also water dwelling aquatics are like mocker alligators. And this is, so the total is actually 25. I think 9 plus 5, that is 14, plus 11 is 25. And this is the reptile is 26, and the birds is the 26th 27th creation. And there are 2 kinds of birds, dwelling in the land and dwelling in the water. So like heron, vulture, crane, hawk, bhaas, bhaluka, peacock are land dwelling birds. This is 27th creation. And the swan, saras, chakravak, they are the etc. like water dwelling birds. That is 28th creation. So thus 8th creation is these are the 28 varieties. So can you go to the next slide? So these are the different images of which animals with a cloven hoofs, without cloven heads, like dog. This different species have 5 nails. Reptiles, like this is in under this next category. Land dwelling birds like peacock. Water dwelling birds like hansa. So these are the aquatic animals. Prabhuji, can you go to next slide? So the 9th creation is the human being. So as you just proceed to the forward, after the disposal of the body of the uh, uh, Lord Brahma actually automatically one of the bodies come out from the body of the Brahma. This is called Kayam. And there are 2 forms already generated. One is called the male and another is called the female. And that male is called the Swayambhuva Manu or Manu, but the present Manu is the Swayambhuva Manu, and the female part is called the Satrupa. So this way, these human beings have been created, and by the union of these 2 male and female forms, the subsequent creation have been created, like Priyavat Maharaj, Uttanapat. In that way, there are 2 children of son children, and there are daughter like Akuti, Devavati, and Prasuti. So in that way, the 9th creation is the human being. So they basically they are distributed downwards. Food is distributed downwards, and they are basically the qualities is they are basically mostly passionate, and they are very karmanistha. They are very much engrossed about this karma, and they are basically have dukkhecha sukkhemanino. They are basically thinking as a happiness to the dukkha, to the sorrowness. So they don't have any discriminate whether it is even it is a dukkha, it is a very miserable condition, but they are thinking it is as a happiness. So in that way, that is the 9th creation of the human being. Prabhuji, can you go to the next slide? So this is the 10th creation. So I will actually present in subsequent slide the actually detail of this Devata, that is 10th creation. As you know, in Sarga also there is creation of the Devata, because in the after the from the false from the Mahatma to the false ego is generated, and from the in the goodness of the false ego there is some different Devatas also created by the Lord Vishnu. So but here the Lord Brahma is created some more additional Devatas. So they are also sometimes is called the Vaikruta, but sometimes they are also both, because in Prakruta Srishti also this Devata is created by the Lord Vishnu, and it is also in by Lord Brahma also this Devata has been created. So they are also part of the Vaikruta. Vaikruta means it's created by the Lord Vishnu, or in it is a secondary creation. But they are also part of the Devatas also. Creation of the Kumar is also both. So like I will present in next slide this what is the creation of the Kumara. Kumar is also the Prakruta Srishti and the Vaikruta Srishti. So I will tell you why it is both. So then Brahma meditated on Vishnu and created, so that they are generated by both Brahma and Lord. So basically the Kumaras is the both, because by the empowerment, because he prayed to the Lord Vishnu to create this Kumaras, because before that creation he has created the avidya potency. So after that he again the disposal, he again thinking Brahma thinking about the it is actually not very good population, so he again meditated on the Lord Vishnu and he created this Kumaro, this Kumaras, 4 Kumaras like Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumar and Sanatana. So these 4 sages have been emanated from the Lord. It is generated by Lord Brahma, but it is both, because by the empowerment of Lord Vishnu, because Lord Brahma is prayer, it is actually generated. So in the way of, because it is created by the Brahma and it is empowered by the Lord Vishnu, so they are both basically combination of the Prakruta Sushti, because it is empowered by the Lord Vishnu in the form of prayer. So it is Prakruta Sushti, but it is created, generated by the Brahma, that's why it is called Vaikrutika Sushti. So in that way, Kumaro Sushti is also both. So there are actually demigod, and there are 8 varieties called demigods, Pitrus, Asuras, Gandharvas and Apsaras, Yakshas and Rakshasas, Bhutas, Pretas and Pishachas, Siddhas, Charanas and Vidyadhar. Can you go to next slide? So these are the 10, these are the actually 10 creation and 4 creation is part of the Brahma. And again, there are also Lord Brahma is created like the Kumaras. I've already explained it. But because he wants to create the subsequent living entity. So basically these are the it is the stage where he can actually produce the living entity, because unless until he create the different 8 varieties of demigod like Yakshas, Rakshasas, living entity, human beings, so there is need of self-identification of the body. So in order to create the ignorance, to produce a proper stage, so before that Brahma also created this 5 forms called Tamas, Moho, Mahamoho and Tamisra and Andha Tamisra. So Tamisra means it is a ignorance of this basically living entity, because he forget the eternal relation with the Lord, that is ignorance. And Moho means he's actually identifying the self with the body. And Mahamoha means actually after the identifying the self with the body, he actually trying to enjoy the whatever the position within his surroundings. So he achieves that. So that is called Mahamoha. And Tamisra means after he is not able to enjoy that, basically obstruct the enjoyment, he actually anger is arisen. So that is called Tamisra. And Andha Tamisra means unconscious state brought on by anger, means death not present in Jiva but created by ignorance of Vidya. So Prabhupada explains this whole 5 form of ignorance in the 2 energy. It is called Avaran and Vikshepa. Avaran means it actually covers the living entity's identity. So that is called the Avaranitmaka Sakti. And Vikhava means after covering the living entity's identity, it throws the living entity into the pool of the nescience, that is material existence. So in that way, Prabhupada explains this whole 5 form of ignorance in 2 energy, that is called Avaranikataka and Vikhava. Prabhupada, can you go to next slide? So then this is called, so once he actually Lord Brahma has created this 4th, basically 4 creation like immovable plants, demigods, human beings, like that. The 4 creation already happened, but Lord Brahma thinks this is not the what I wanted, because already this is the avidya. This is due to the some ignorance of this avidya potency. Now, because I want to create this to deliver this ignorant living entity, I have to create the then vidya potency of form in the form of sage. So Lord Brahma then created the Kumaras, that is 4 Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumar and Sanatana. So this is called the Vidya potency of the creation of the Lord Brahma. So these 4 Kumaras, they're not basically growth, because their semen is flowing upwards, and they are basically the preachers of these 3, basically 4 philosophy called Sankhya, Yoga and Vairagya and Tapas. They are actually in internal, they are a pure devotee, but as a preacher to this respective people, those who are interested to this respect to, that is 4 philosophy like Sankhya and Vairagya and Tapasya, they have taken the charge of this 4 philosophy. But so this basically these 4 Sanat Kumar are the preachers of the Karma Misra Bhakti, basically Misra Bhakti and the Niskam Karma preachers. So, but here this Vidya is useless without Bhakti. So the Lord also going to create the Manas Putra in subsequent creation by creating the Narada Muni. So Narada Muni is nothing but the preacher of the bhakti part. So it is said Vidya is useless without bhakti, because bhakti is independent of this above four potency of the Vidya. So they are teacher of the Bhakti Mishra Gyan and Bhakti Mishra Yoga. So Brahma created these four aspects of Vidya by which four types of creation Avidya get deliverance. So Brahma think how to get the deliverance of this Avidya creator living entity. So Brahma created this Vidya potency. Then, but after this, Lord Brahma actually told to create the progeny to these four Kumaras, and four Kumaras also denied to get married. So then Lord Brahma is angry. So he actually, out of his angry, from his eyebrows, a child mixed with blue and red came out. So his name is called the Rudra. So this Rudra is nothing, he's cried initially. So that's his name is the Rudra. He's able to, he's actually trying to anxiously cry. So his name is Rudra. And the Lord Brahma is solace to the Lord Shiva that, oh my dear son, don't cry. I've also selected the 11 places and you just place there. So Brahma selected the 11 places and also married to the 11 wives. So this 11 places are is nothing but the basically heart, senses, and breath. So this is the 3, and the 5 is the 5 material element like earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then sun, moon, and austerity. So these are the residing place of the 11 Rudras, because because he is created out of the anger. The heart is the source, because from the false yuga it is created from the heart. So it is the nothing but the original source of the anger. Like senses also, it is the because of the senses of the out of anger also we are just creating the senses. And breathing, while after the, if someone is going to breathe, so it is breathing heavily, it is also out of anger. Like sun, anger in the form of like heat, and that way it is created. Then Lord Brahma is created because he has already created the Abhidhamma. He has again created the 10 Manas Putra who have component of the Vidya and also generate population. Prabhuji, next slide.
20 minutes are over. Kindly summarize.
Okay, Prabhu. Can you go to next slide? So these are the 10 Manas Putra like Marich, Vrugu, Kruttu, Pulaha, Pulastya, Angira, and Atri. So these are the different 7 sages, Saptarsi. They are created from the different limbs of the Brahma, like from mind, skin, hand. Marich is created from the mind, from ear. So these are the different Saptarsis created from Brahma. Next slide, Prabhu. So these are the Narada also created from the Brahma's lips, because it is the represent the affection. So that's why Narada is created from the Brahma's lips. He is the actually cause of the bhakti, because Narada means which gives the bhakti yoga to the other living entity. Daksha from the thumb, Vasishtha from the breathing. Prabhuji, can you go to next slide? So this is the then though basically to establish the dharma, actually Lord Brahma is created this 10 Manasa Putra. So that is dharma appear in the prescribed bhakti. So that's why this whole 7 sages are created by the dharma, and the adharma is also created from the different limbs of the body, that is in the form of lust, anger, and greed. So this is the, so these are the different shades. So their work is to establish dharma by their austerity, which is lost with time. Prabhuji, can you go to the next slide? So this is the different, which is the factor which instigate dharma, that is lost, anger, greed, speech, ocean, death. So these are the different adharmic activity that is also created from the different limbs of the body. And that factor instigate dharma, that is the meaning of speech words, like in the case of Kardamuni, like these are the actually example of this dharmic activity. And the Bach episode represent the adharma, that is Lord Brahma is attracted to the own daughter, that is Bach. So this represents the adharmic activity, but we should not judge the great souls. Then after that, how to leave the living entity in the form of how they have to be sustained in the living entity, how they have to maintain the living entity. So the Lord Brahma created the Vedas. Like from the Vedas, there are actually 4 priests is required. That is Hota, Adhya, Udgata, and Brahma. So from the different, there are 4 Vedas. Like from the Rug Veda, Hota priest is required, Yajur Veda, Adhya. So these are the different priests have been actually is allocated to these different Vedas, and they have created from the different 4 mouths of the Lord Vishnu, from the south, west, north, and east. Like there are also different sacrifices also, like 5 sacrifice. Someone has to be pour the ghee to the actually obligation fire. So that way, so these are like education, charity, 4 types of brahmachari, like Sabitya, Prajapati, Brahmanyam. These are the different creation of the Lord Brahma. Then can you go to next slide? Then from the 4 kind of Banaprastha, 4 kind of sannyasa, and there are logic, Vedic knowledge, literally expression like different balls, consonant in Sanskrit terms. So these are also created from the different limbs of the body, like skin, Brahma. Then can you go to the next slide? These are the different notes, music also created from the Brahma. Can you go to next slide? So this is the creation. So this is, I have already explained about the Swayambhuva Manu. After the copulation of the Swayambhuva Manu and Satrupa, they have been created. Next slide. So this slide is nothing but the details of this demigod. So the details explanation of the 8 varieties of the demigods. So that way, actually, Lord Brahma created the 14 planet. Initially, he's created 3 planetary system. Then after that, he's created 14 planetary system, and with the different names and forms. Project can go to the next. So these are the creation of the Akshas and Rakshasa. So because of this mode of ignorance, this Tamas, Moha, Mahamad, Tamis, and Andhadramasa, the first 5 functions of ignorance appeared on their own. Then, not satisfied with body full of ignorance, gave up body which transformed into night, and the Akshas and Rakshasa respected. So that way, from the mode of ignorance, this Yakshas and Rakshasa appeared. Can you go to the next slide? So then creation of the Devatas and Daitya. And from the mode of goodness appear in the mind of Brahma. And from that mind of Brahma, actually Devatas have been expected and they accepted the day. So that way the Devata have been appeared. Brahma created the Daityas from its bottom. And then from mind of the, because in Brahma's mind that is lost, that it is created due to the mode of passion. So from that demons appeared and that demon have accepted that Sandhya and they have accepted it. So in that way, Daityas have been created. So because,
no need to get into details. Kindly conclude. Time ho gaya. 45 minutes, 25 minutes.
Next, 1 2 slide only, bro. So these are the creation of the Gandharva, Siddhas, Charanas, and Vidyadharas, Kinnaras. So these are the Brahma also created the Siddhas, Vidyadhara. These are the different higher superhuman being living entity, Kinnar and Kim Purusas. They are also created from the Lord Brahma. That way also Kumara also created from the Lord Brahma. Go to the next slide. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Devotees, any questions?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, may I ask a question?
Yeah, please, quick.
In the slide of all the Avidya Shaktis, you have mentioned Avarnatmika and Prakshepatmika. So can you please explain the second one?
So actually Prabhupada, actually these are the nothing but the, actually these are the, actually Prabhupada explain is purport in more type, that is Avarika and Bhiksha. So they are nothing but the basically more detailed explanation of the tamas, because how can someone is covered by this avaranita, how this Shakti can someone cover this actually living entity because of the tamas. So this is nothing but this, the avarana is nothing but the tamas and moho and tamisra. So these are the 4 parts which can actually take the living entity avaranic. If unless someone living entity is the ignorance of the Swarup Jiva, how can that Shakti will actually cover that living entity? So that way, so avaranitikma is nothing but the detail, actually these are the detailed explanation of the tamas, moho, mahamoho and tamisra. Because once the living entity becomes the ignorant, then only he can identify the self with the body. Unless until he is ignored by the
Hare Krishna, so that, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. See,
Hare,
in the question answers, again, don't speak elaborately. You give one word answer or one line answer. Okay. Avarana means tamas, forgetfulness of one's swarupa. Vikshepa means moha, giving us a new identity. That's all. That is the answer to the question. Don't go into the story again. Yeah, other devotees?
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what is the role of avidya potency in Jivatma's life?
Because the living entity wants to enjoy these 3 modes of material nature, unless until he is affected by this 3 mode material nature, he cannot identify himself. So this is the one of the advantage of the living entity. That's why sometimes the living entity is actually covered by the mode of ignorance. Otherwise, he is not covered by the ignorance.
Again, same thing again. Give answer in one word or one sentence, not the story.
Okay, because of this identity, because of this ignorance, he actually identify himself with this actually particular species he is actually born. So this is the answer.
Okay.
No, not like that. Avidya makes us forget our original identity so that Jiva can enjoy in the material world.
Okay.
Okay. Mataji, that okay?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Other devotees? Okay. Prabhuji, please tell me, what did Brahma create?
Brahma create this actually this fourth
One
part
word,
of
one word answer, one word answer. What did Brahma create?
the Brahma created the subsequent resultant of three modes of material nature in the form of different living
What did Brahma create?
different
What
living
did-
entities.
What do you mean by different living entities?
No, Brahma did prayers to the Lord Vishnu in the form of
What did
tapasya.
he create? What did he create? You are able to follow my question.
Yes.
Your answer should be one word. At max
Different
one
living
sentence.
entities, sages and demigods.
What do you mean by different living entities, sages and demigods?
Actually, all demigods, sages are living entity only. They are only superhuman living entity. Their consciousness is high.
Same again, story. Don't go to stories. What did Brahma create? Brahma created physical forms for different living entities.
Okay, bro.
Okay, now next question is, why did he create the physical forms for different jivas?
Different shape of the living entities.
Why? Why did he create different physical forms for different jivas?
Because of his different karmic past karmic activities, so their karma should match with their desire.
Whose past karmic activity? Brahma's past karmic activity?
Not Brahma's, Jivas.
So what Brahma has to do with that? Why did Brahma do so many things painfully? What was the reason?
Why did Brahma choose?
Why did Brahma do all these elaborate creations with a lot of hard work and all? Why?
To give chance to the living entity so that they have to perform their activity in the form of actually in prescribed Vedas, so that they will go back to the Lord again.
I don't know. I don't understand your answer. Some story you are making up. You be precise. Your answer should be in terms of one word. Or at max one sentence. To facilitate Jiva's enjoyment and Jiva's journey back to Godhead.
Okay.
This should be the beginning and conclusion of your presentation. In between details you should have touched upon. And then your presentation, you are not requested to give the summary of the three chapters, chapter 10, 12 and 20. You are supposed to present a brief summary of Visarga.
Okay.
So you don't have to go to each and every detail in great details. You should have spent more time on this aspect. What was the purpose with which Brahmaji is doing all these things? And then some details about what he is doing. That would have been helped all the students to revive this topic and then gain something in the presentation. Okay? But anyway, good that you have spoken so many details. So thank you very much for your nice presentation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So the last presentation for today is Mataji.
mine, Prabhuji. Nutan
Yes.
Dada.
Yes.
Prabhuji,
Please
I
go
don't
ahead.
have an
No problem. You
PPT or
can go ahead.
something. I just want to talk. That's all.
Please go ahead.
Will do. Okay. Hare Krishna. All scriptures are stressed to the importance of the Guru. This is the spiritual master. For our spiritual advancement. This is my humble attempt to present the importance of the spiritual master. In our daily life, we will come across many things and incidents. Some things we are aware of it, and something we will learn from others. Depending on the interest and form that we know. I will try to explain with some scenarios. Like one scenario, I know what I am. And the same thing, people around me also what I am. Like my name, where I'm staying, what I'm doing, that all. That is a basic thing about it. Second scenario, something I know about myself only, but others don't know. Which is really very important, which is inside me. The third thing, I don't know about myself, but the other knows about it. And the fourth is then this scenario is the most difficult, where I also don't know anything about me, something which is I don't know, and the other people also don't know about me. This scenario is the most difficult to understand, as we can't accept that something exists that we don't know, and the surrounding people also don't know about us. It seems to be a very complicated, but the answer is very simple. But stick with the basic knowledge that is our real identity. We may say that I know identity, saying I know myself, identity saying that I am this body, this is my name, that this is what I'm doing it. But it will be lead to many basic unanswerable questions like why I'm subject to so many miseries, and who I am, why I am here, and why should I die. These are the basic questions. I don't have an answers for it. Answer for these questions not we know, nor the people surrounding us knows. But there are persons who knows the answer for these questions. He knows why we are here, and he knows why we should die. He is none other than the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. He knows everything about us. He knows what we know about us. He knows what other knows about us. He also knows what we don't know about us and what others also don't know about us. He knows all our real identity. He is the master of all masters, and he is the cause of the all causes. There are nothing unknown to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In one company, generally a boss will give instruction to his fellow beings through his representatives. Similarly, Krishna also sends his instruction through his representative, and the representative is considered as a spiritual master. Krishna, though his representatives of the spiritual master, will guide us, or he will mentor us to know about our real identity, and he will help to know, and he help is to work as the level of our real identity. That's why I would like to say the one Kabir doha, कि गुरु गोविंद साथ बैठे किसको लागे पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपनी जिसने गोविंद दियो दिखाए. I mean, this spiritual masters are real people with the knowledge who give us the knowledge of the Krishna. As the scriptures mention that to find a spiritual master who is a representative of the Krishna is a very difficult. In Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Krishna says, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Just try to learn the truth by the approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render services up to him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge up to you because they have seen the truth. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind towards the disciples. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render services, the scriptures the representative of the knowledge and the inquirer become perfect. Knowing our real identity is not something mundane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, who has given the chance for all the people in this world to think about our real identity in a structured way. All glories to Guru and the Gauranga. I will humbly offer this thought as a flower to flower up to the lotus feet of my spiritual master Radhanath Swami. The spiritual master's instructions provide spiritual strength to the disciples and help the disciples become liberated from the materialistic life and attain the pure Krishna Prem, love of God. In ISKCON, we are grateful to the Prabhupada for setting the most glorious example for all spiritual masters to follow. The most important thing the spiritual master does for this spiritual children is to make them consciously aware of the something vast and infinite within themselves, which is nothing other than the God himself. The highest transcendental truth is within our heart, but unfortunately we have not yet discovered it. Great unalloyed devotees of the Lord are the compassionate towards the fallen, and therefore they travel all over the world with the mission of bringing soul back to the Godhead, back to the home. Such pure devotees of the Lord carry the message of the Godhead in order to deliver the fallen soul, and therefore the common man who is bewildered by the influence of the external energy of the Lord should avail himself of their association. Vidura, at the very first instance, inquired from the Maitreya about the path of the devotion services by which the Lord, who is seated within the heart, can be pleased. Vidura might have learned the pastime of the Lord many times before he met the Maitreya, but still he wanted the same narrations to be repeatedly because he was never satisfied by the hearing them. This is the transcendental nature of the Lord's glorious pastime. Great devotee and the spiritual masters are helping disciples to go back to the Godhead. Vidura, Uddhava and Vidura both comes under this category. They are the detached soul. Detachment inspires inspiration for the devotion. By his devotion and inspiration, Uddhava inspired Vidura, and Vidura can inspire the Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra cannot be achieved the Vaikuntha, but he has at least come up out of his bodily platform. This is all happens because of the association of the Vidura. Vidura used very hard words to the Dhritarashtra, saying that you are like a dog staying in the house of the Bhima, whom you want to kill, and now you are fed by him. Using such a strong word, Vidura is inspiring Dhritarashtra to come out of the bodily platform, and it has worked. So many times spiritual masters are very harsh in their language, in their words, to show the right path. They are like a coconut. Outer shell is a very strong and unbreakable, but inside the sweet water and the sweet coconut is inside, which is very sweet. Like so, we have as an sorry, sir, I can speak only this much. Hare Krishna. Hello.
Yeah, devotees.
Yeah.
Any
If any questions, like I have one story. Like, can I tell that story, sir? Very small story.
Yeah, quickly.
Hello? Quickly,
Okay, go ahead, Mataji.
Huh?
Yes,
yeah,
Mataji.
Yeah, we all souls are like in a part of the super soul that everybody is telling, and even the scripture is telling. We are the part of the super soul. All small souls are like in a drop of the water, and the ocean is like in the super soul. If the soul wants to be a super soul, wants to meet the super soul, he should know the way. If he's a vapor in the air by the sunlight, there's nowhere. If you meet in the dirt, that soul become a dirt, that drop become a dirt. But the soul knows how to go and meet the that drop of water know how to travel up to the sea, then that soul become a sea. So that path is shown by the spiritual master. Spiritual master is they are showing that drop of the water, how to reach the sea. The same way, the souls are getting the way and the knowledge from the spiritual masters, how to reach and how to understand God, which is the exact way that we can follow to meet for the go back to the Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Devotees can ask some questions.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Good presentation. I appreciate. But you didn't tell the point, Tatvidi Pranipatene. And other Acharya, Vidura only you said, other Acharya's role, you could have quoted some other examples from the.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji, for
Hare
your feedback.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Other devotees, any questions? You spoke about Vidura going to Hastinapur and trying to inspire Dhritarashtra to renounce. Then how the other people mentioned in the topic, Maitreya, Brahma, Kardama, are considered as authorities or gurus? By what? By what kind of activity that they performed, they can be considered as guru or authorities? Maitreya, Brahma, and Kardama, etc., which are also part of the topic.
Yeah, they are follow the instructions purely as it is. They are never questioned.
So that makes them guru. That makes them authority. What do you mean by authority? Authority means acharya. What makes someone acharya?
Yes, Prabhuji. They are the authority because they are giving the perfect way, perfect knowledge, like Prabhupada. Guru Parampara.
No, it's okay. Prabhupada we know, Guru Parampara we know, but this is a Bhagavatam exam. You need to speak from Bhagavatam, and especially from Canto 3, and we have given some examples of 3 personalities here, 3, 4, but one you spoke, and other 3. What makes them to be considered as authorities or gurus? Maitreya, Brahma, and Kardama.
Okay, I have to quote some verses. That's what you're telling, Prabhu?
No. You tell, just like you spoke about Vidura. Vidura went and spoke to Dhritarashtra. So you gave some examples, some case study. So like that, any such things are there for these 3 people?
Maitreya.
These 3, should we consider them as authority or not? If we consider them as authority, how and why?
Sorry, Prabhuji, at present I can't able to speak. Thank you.
That is your topic. You should have prepared.
Yes. I talked about the Vidura and Uddhava and Sarla Prabhupada, but I have not talked about the Maitreya.
Sarla Prabhupada's name is not there in the topic.
No, I said Prabhupada.
You said, but it was not required.
Achha, Prabhupada, because
Prabhupada anyway, all of us know. This is, you need to speak from Bhagavatam. That is fine. So basically, from 3rd canto, what do we understand is, there are the pastimes and activities of various personalities. And through their personal life, through their activities, and through their achar, vichar, and vyavahar, they are becoming gurus, they are becoming acharyas, and they are becoming mahajanas. Out of 12 mahajanas, the first person is who? Who is the first person? I'm asking you only. Who is the first mahajan of the 12 mahajanas?
You're asking me, Prabhuji?
Then who, you only. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu. The first one is Lord Brahma himself with Mahajana.
Brahma himself. Brahma and then Narada.
That Brahma. But what makes Brahma Mahajan?
Because he followed the instruction.
Whose
the,
instructions? Whose instructions?
of course, Lord Krishna's instruction.
By following instructions, one become Mahajan?
No, their achar vichar and their behavior is so strong and the perfect that somebody can follow it.
So what achar vichar of Brahma is perfect and that makes him Acharya? So currently we are discussing about Kardama in our regular Bhagavatam classes and weekly Bhakti classes. So from the very beginning, though his father told him to get married and beget children, but he worshipped the Supreme Lord in such a way that, my dear Lord, I want to follow my father's instruction as well as I want to worship you exclusively. And Lord appeared and Lord told, no problem, certain time you stay home and then you go and distribute Krishna consciousness to one and all. Daya sarvabhuteshu. Be compassionate to all the living entities by distributing them bhakti. So Kardama did. What Kardama did, how Kardama did, we don't have many details in the Bhagavatam. Maybe other scriptures might talk about it. But he did it. He has become an example of that. And he himself, in spite of Lord being born as a son in his own home, he wanted to establish a proper system of following the Varnashram Dharma. Himself taking to Vanaprastha and going to the forest, or sannyas going to the forest. That makes such kind of people as acharyas, as authorities. Same way, Lord Brahma, of course, he is following the instruction of the Lord to create the universe. But by the way, he is also instructing one and all how to lead the life in this world. He instructed Swayambhu Manu, he instructed Kardama, he instructed Narada. In the second canto, it is there very clearly. He spoke to Narada for 3 chapters, chapter 5, 6, 7. Elaborate instructions are there. And one and all, everyone, Brahmaji is there everywhere. And we see Brahmaji prayers. The whole prayers, if you see, you should have spoken something from prayers from chapter 9. So some of the prayers are he saying that, my dear Lord, you are asking me to create this universe and this universe is filled with lot of miseries. I am very much pained by looking at the miseries which living entities going through. You please come and save them. And it's like that. And just now in the other previous presentation, looking at the conditioned nature of the living entities, Brahmaji was so much compassionate. He created the aspects of Vidya in the form of 4 Kumaras, Narada Muni and the great sages. Those who can preach Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. That makes Brahma Acharya. That makes Brahma authority. He is not only setting up the system, he is also keep inspiring them regularly. And our Sampradaya is originating from Brahma. Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Sampradaya. So in that way, all these people are authorities. All these people are gurus. So though you spoke the role of guru in our life, but the activities of the gurus is what you should speak in this, at least in this presentation. So, but anyway, good attempt. Thank you very much for this nice presentation. So better luck next time. Next time you can. And one more feedback at the end. You are okay. You are presenting. You are reading, but you should speak. You should not, as much as possible, you should avoid reading. To some extent, that is fine. But because this is an exam, you should be able to present without looking at the notes also some part. Maybe there are some shlokas, some translations, some points. If you want to repeat them as it is, you can read, but not the entire talk. So next time, please be prepared thoroughly. Thank you very much. So, Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your feedback. Thank you very much.
Hare
Krishna.
So thank you very much for all the devotees. We will continue our classes in the next 3 weeks, and the next month, first Sunday, again we'll continue with the other set of presentations. Okay. So we'll meet again next Sunday morning. Thank you very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anyone has any queries regarding your presentations? Is it you are able to? I mean, already you have done one presentation for the first 2 cantos. This is second time. Anyone has any queries?
Prabhuji, minimum how many slides we can show?
See, it does not matter how many slides you show. You should understand the topic properly and present the topic in 20 to 25 minutes. Your total time is 30, including the question answers and feedback, everything. So 20 minutes of good amount of time you have. You can go another 2-3 minutes more also, that is not an issue, but 20 minutes is the time for you to talk, and the remaining 2-3 minutes you have to summarize. So it's like that. Within 20 minutes, how many slides you can cover, it's up to you.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, sometimes one small word, but we sometimes don't know what is actually to be presented. So how can you do that?
You should have spoken to me. You should have spoken to me. I gave the topics a month, 2 months back. No one called me, texted me. So you should have that courtesy to understand what to present and how to present. You people think you are independent, then what I can do?
No, Prabhuji.
Simple. You see, you got a topic and you should understand. I mean, you should know. Either you should know or you should take the help of somebody to understand what to present.
Okay, bro.
So that is very simple.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, other devotees? Anyone? Any clarification required? So, kindly see your topics properly, and don't be like just a repetition of the notes which are there in the book or slides. Try to extract the essence of that section and present it. Don't go into details so much. Details you touch upon briefly, but try to focus on the essence. So that will help everyone. The details are there for everyone to read through the book. Book mein hai or slides mein hai, notes mein hai, they can read. So that you don't have to present. You try to present that essence, which you have understood and which can help all of us to also take along with us. So like some take-home messages, etc. Okay.
प्रभु जी नेक्स्ट वीक का रहेगा वो नेम्स मेंशन्ड है क्या ग्रुप बनाया हुआ है नेक्स्ट वीक नेक्स्ट मंथ
See Mataji, I have sent the documents many times. Many devotees have circulated. I request all of you to go through our WhatsApp group, and they are all there.
Okay, Prabhu ji. Thank you.
Please go through the WhatsApp group. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.